Hello guys, Alex Fedotoff here, and today we have an amazing guest. I guess like third time already. We were chatting with Josh Snow, and Josh has grown one of his brands, Snow, to millions of fans and over $100 million in profitable sales before raising capital, and now has already acquired a bunch of other brands. You know, this guy's a e-com powerhouse. So happy to have you, Josh, here.
Thanks, Alex. Thanks, brother. It's good. It's good to be back.
My man, you have this special hat. Like, it's not just Yankees, it's like Snow Yankees.
Oh yeah, the embroidery there. Yeah, that was a nice touch that they added. I have a few of these, so I'm usually always wearing a hat. A lot of people don't think I have hair. I definitely do have hair. I just I'm in a hat phase, so it's almost like a trademark accessory of mine. I probably have like 200 hats now from all kinds of events and all kinds of stuff. But yeah, this one's cool. They added the snow to it.
Good stuff, man. So last time we chatted, like last year or 2020, and what is going on? Like, what is kind of like working right now for you in D2C with all of these brands?
Well, we all had the reckoning of post iOS 14, and I think that there's been a process over the last nearly going into a year where it's almost like a series evolution, where survival of the fittest, where there's been a wash and a bifurcation of how brands have been affected by iOS 14 and attribution since last year. And luckily, Snow has bifurcated on the positive side, but not without its struggles. Every single business that is or was advertising on Facebook during these changes had some type of response. And depending on the business, Snow in particular had its own set of challenges, which we can talk about. And then some of my other businesses actually had much less trouble. And then we had some of our other brands that really faced even more trouble than Snow. So it kind of was across the range of having to adapt and evolve each business. And for the Snow business, we've been focused on diversifying away from Facebook and Instagram, like a lot of people, but we've been really putting a forceful effort over the last two and a half years of diversifying our traffic so that, omni-channel. So from Amazon.com to our retail partners like Bed Bath, Walgreens, Best Buy, at Target.com. So utilizing those platforms, and then also realizing the shift from COVID in terms of online grocery and the D2C and at-home space in general. And so we have really leveled up our traffic channel strategy to think about beyond Facebook and Instagram. Facebook and Instagram used to generate, at one point, 90% of our sales, then 80%, 70%, 60%. And then in December, I believe it was, which is usually our biggest month for holiday, we generated just as much sales through our affiliate partners than we did with Facebook and Instagram combined. Wow. And through traffic partners, less than 10% of their traffic concentration is Facebook and Instagram. So we essentially have diluted that concentration. Wow. In help through obviously retail, Amazon, and other things we can talk about, but also our traffic partners that we've been working with for years. That have diversified huge blogs, mommy bloggers with millions of unique visitors per month, these other sources of traffic that we're able to incentivize. And then recently we launched the only program in our space that pays essentially annuities. So when someone subscribes to a Snow product like toothpaste, which is the #1 sold retail product in North America, naturally consumptive, once the tube's empty, you need a new one. So when people subscribe to toothpaste through our affiliate partner network, those affiliate partners are able to generate annuities on that sign up. So they're getting paid every time that customer is purchasing, which is a very strong competitive advantage when a large traffic partner of ours is trying to decide between us and a competitor, or us and just a different product in a different industry. Not only can we afford to incentivize affiliates better than anyone else in our space, payouts, but we're also able to bolt on this commission structure that will pay them for the lifetime, potentially the lifetime of the customer, which is huge. And when the bloggers and our traffic partners realize, wow, I'm going to get paid for driving the sale more than I'm going to make pushing anything else, and I'm going to get this bonus where I'm going to get checks every single month on all of that cohort that I drove. And so that's from my roots in affiliate marketing 15 years ago, as an affiliate myself, and then as a merchant, and then as a brand builder and owner, thinking through how do we incentivize affiliates and build the world's best affiliate offer so that we can diversify, because we don't need to run every single channel ourselves. But doesn't mean that those channels are, people that have teeth are customers for us. There are a lot of people with teeth, but everybody has their own pocket of traffic. And so what we've been doing is the overall answer is we've continued to diversify. We've also implemented conversion rate optimization like never before, life cycle marketing from browse abandonment, cart abandonment, order confirmation calls, to postcard lifecycle marketing through direct mail, all of that really bolting on so that our revenue per visitor continues to go up as we add more products. We also more than doubled the size of our product offering in the last 12 months. We launched our electric toothbrush, which sold out in less than 30 days. It was a massive launch. I think the biggest launch we've ever had. And then we launched our whitening strips, dissolving whitening strips product called Magic Strips. And that continues to just be a monster of a product. And that's because we've had 55 million people shop on our website to date that have been asking us for other ways to use snow products in strips, in their toothbrush, toothpaste, which we've sold out now 6 times in a row of that product. So the demand that was led by our hero product, which was our teeth whitening kit, we've sold well over 1 million units of our teeth whitening system. Those customers have been asking for more products. So we're filling out our shelves with products. We're introducing new channels into the mix, and we're giving the opportunity for people who have access to traffic, email lists, SMS lists, to promote snow and potentially retire from the annuities that the offer provides.
That's awesome. And I mean, that's such a massive, I remember it was your event, and you were speaking about at some point you've had this type of, this kind of like decision to either like focus on that hero product, just finding like more distribution channels on that, and kind of like find like more SKUs and kind of like start diversifying. So, and you said at that point you decided to just double down on that hero product. So what changed kind of like in your mindset, in your approach, when you started to introduce more and more products, kind of like in introducing more and more SKUs?
Well, it's, you look at the Starbucks business, and when they were selling just coffee, their average order value for a Pike Place is $2 to $3, and you have to pay the same amount of money on marketing, advertising, branding. You have to do all of the work to bring that customer into a Starbucks location. How do you get them to come back for less, ideally free? That's where they came out with, which is still one of the top 5 mobile payment apps, which is their Starbucks Rewards app. So that's the loyalty, rewards, retention, the incentivization for loyalty. So they figured that out. And then they started selling baked goods. They acquired a brand called Boulangerie Bakery in San Francisco for $90 million. After they tested putting cake pops, cheese danishes, breakfast sandwiches, they tested it out for a while. Some people might remember when they first started testing those things. And now their average order value, now you can buy your breakfast sandwich. Like me and my girlfriend will go to Starbucks. Before, it would be a $2 to $3 coffee, and you sit down, you use the free Wi-Fi all day, and you get free refills. Not a really good model, but you have to start somewhere. And so building the trust in the coffee in a place that people can sit together with Wi-Fi. Then they added on cake pop sandwiches. And now, like when me and my girlfriend go in, it's 2 orders of egg bites. That's about $10. 2 drinks. That's another $10. And then if you want to get like a popcorn or snack for later or something like that, you're another $5. So now the average order value is $20 to $25 instead of $2 to $3, which just puts rocket fuel on the front end of advertising. And so that's where we got to a point where, look, we've spent over $100 million in advertising our brand. We have millions of fans, we have millions of people on our list that, and most of them started by purchasing a teeth whitening system from us. But the idea of at-home oral care, at-home premium oral care, our customers have been asking from day one, hey, can I upgrade to a snow toothpaste instead of the one I have? Can I use when do you guys come out the toothbrush, a whitening mouthwash, whitening gum, whitening strips? The customers have been asking us since day one, but we've been very methodical because we wanted to double down on the hero product first, which we had the wired kit, which is a $149 product. And then we have our wireless series, which starts at $299, and then our professional wireless at $399. And so if you look at companies like Dyson, Apple, Vitamix, you can see a similar kind of approach where Apple has the iPhone 13 Pro Max, the iPhone Color, the iPhone 13 Wide, the Sapphire Color Edition. And those things work because people want, like when we came out with the black wireless system, we had a massive adoption from our male audience. Same system, but because it's black, they felt more comfortable putting that, in their bathroom. And so the conversion rate for men skyrocketed by just changing the color of that offering. And so that's where we realized, you might not like a chocolate cake pop, but you want the vanilla cake pop. Well, that opens up a whole nother audience for you. So what we realized was that people wanted to use snow products, but because it cost $150 to enter our world, we needed things that were under $100 to enter our world without discounting our products. So that's where we went with magic strips. Those are $49. Our toothpaste, it's about $15. Our magic powder, which you can sprinkle on any toothpaste to get our instant whitening boost. So that's under $50. So we introduced a lot of under $100, under $50 products, which are ways for our power customers to use the Snow toothpaste, the Snow mouthwash, the Snow whitening kit. Also, the 55 million people that have shopped on the Snow website, only a couple million of them purchased, a system. And so the rest may have purchased if there was something that was more accessible in terms of pricing, maybe if there was another way. Some people just don't want to put the mouthpiece in their mouth. They just don't want to, but they really want our products. And so that's where we got to a point where we're like, okay, now we're shooting ourselves in the foot by not launching more products to sell, one, to sell more to our current customers who are asking for it, and two, open up the prospecting on the top of the funnel for people that everyone has seen the Snow teeth whitening kit already. Like everyone's seen it, what's next? And so that's why when we introduced our toothbrush, it's like, it's something that everybody in our user base, but also people that follow us that haven't bought a product, they could get behind and say, you know what, I'm going to start there. And if that does well, I may buy one of those kits, or I might go and buy the toothpaste. And so it opened up more opportunities for us. Because if you only sell coffee and I only drink tea, I may come and hang out with my friends at Starbucks, but you're not going to get any money from me. And I'm not going to build even a transactional relationship, let alone a loyalty relationship with you if there isn't something for me. And that's where I said, you know what? We've got to partner with other brands. We've got to partner with complementary products, bring them to our platform where we're paying all this money for millions of visitors, but we only have a few products scattered there. That's not going to solve everybody's needs. So I believe that in today's world, to succeed, you have to have a diversified offering. The one thing to watch for is that when you introduce lower priced products or lower margin products, you want to make sure that you aren't cannibalizing and displacing the higher margin kind of hero product sales. So that people go, oh, $15 toothpaste or $150 teeth whitening kit, I'll just buy the $15 toothpaste and see if that works. You now have introduced a longer life cycle, which is why we only sell 3 packs of toothpaste on our website.
Wow. Hey guys, people have been asking me how we scale to multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures per month without getting shut down on Facebook. And we have a very sophisticated solution for this that I want to share with you, but it's just like too valuable to give away for free. So if you guys want this solution, just book a call with one of my team members and we'll show you exactly what it is and how it works, and we'll see if that's a good fit for you and for your business. So just book a call with my team member. We'll share it with you so you can scale your business to multiple 6 figures or even 7 figures per month without getting shut down on Facebook, without having inconsistency, and with high profitability. So just book a call with my team and I'll see you there. Oh man, that's impressive. So how sophisticated are you going, like, with all of this, kind of like all of these like conclusions that you've made, like all of these kind of like things that decision making that you do, like how sophisticated is that process? Is that kind of like just looking at the data and just like logically thinking, or kind of like just looking at people behavior, or just like data scientists digging into data and kind of like giving you like sophisticated reports? Like on which level do you operate?
So I zoom in and zoom out. I'm mostly somewhere between the middle of zoom and zoom out. So I'm thinking about large scale partnerships. My job is to bring great people into the organization and to continue to craft that vision with the help of my team, and then to obviously accelerate growth with access to funding, capital investors, and all that. But in terms of the day-to-day, we're all looking at multiple pieces of data. So we're looking at what is each channel bringing in. Snapchat ads, what do we spend? What is attributable to that platform? Times 19 channels. So on a daily basis, we can understand the correlation between increasing Snapchat spend and how that affects our Pinterest retargeting. And so we start by looking at the very basics. What do we spend on Facebook? What did Shopify report? And what are the understandings from that day of what makes sense? And then in terms of product development, market research, the market positioning, we actually try to go to our customers as much as we can. So every time someone leaves a review on our website or purchases a product, they're getting a survey. And so that survey is asking them, where'd you hear from us? What products would you like to see next from us? And we're constantly tweaking those questions. And we get about a 60% answer rate.
What software do you use for that?
We use Enquire. There are a bunch of them. Enquire with an E. It's a Shopify app. We actually have a version of our own coming out through our Powerhouse Mastermind. We acquired customerfeedback.com. So in the next few months, you'll see an advanced version of kind of what I wished was built. But today we're using Enquire for the post-purchase survey. Also in our reviews platform, we have the opportunity to ask questions. So even Looks, Okendo, Yapo, they all have this opportunity for you to ask a question to the reviewer. And so we've consolidated, hundreds of thousands of comments and responses from our customers, and it becomes pretty apparent. And then when you go and look on Amazon, Google keyword search tool, you get an understanding of like, should we go mouthwash next or do we go toothpaste next? And you can see the market stats, toothpaste is the number one sold retail product in North America. Number 2 is deodorant. Number 6 is soap. So it's the number one product, period. But although that's attractive, the price points are different, and it's probably the most competitive space you can be in. Yeah. So that's where we have to balance. And that's why we didn't launch toothpaste for years. Although looking back, I wish we did launch it sooner. We wanted to, one, perfect the formula so that it was something that people felt comfortable buying, from Snow as a premium leader. And we also wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to cannibalize and distract us from what drives this business, which is, hero product sales. And so we're looking at Amazon metrics of what's selling on there. We're looking at Google keyword tool. We're looking at our customer feedback, talking to our customers to understand that. We're looking at market research reports, even just Googling the size of the market and the breakdown of the market. It's easy to see. It's toothpaste is the biggest, toothbrush is next, and then you see the breakdown of the rest. And that tells us, okay, well, we're known as an oral cosmetic company in Snow. So it's important for us to think about the whitening aspect that we're known for. So whitening, mouthwash, whitening, toothbrush, whitening. So we're looking at where can we apply our brand differentiation, which is the cosmetic focus, whitening, to the categories based on size. And then we're looking at our customers. And then we're looking at Google keyword tool to see, are people actually looking for this already? Is there current demand for it? And then if it's not, like, for example, we just launched a makeup wipe for teeth. So it's a teeth whitening wipe. So if you're drinking wine, you can wipe it in between wine sessions, but coffee, you name it. If you search that on Google keyword tool or Amazon, you'll find almost no results. But we went to our retail partners and said, hey, this is a small package that could go right next to your lipstick aisle. Was this something that you would love to merchandise? They go, oh, wow, we love the price point. We love the packaging. Totally makes sense next to lipstick. So I created that demand by going and surveying my distributors, just like I do with affiliate partners, and kind of reverse engineer so that there's existing demand. And then because we spend so much on paid media, we have to take the bet that it's going to convert high enough by putting paid media behind it, because nobody's searching for it today, which means that you have to pay for the education. So that's where we try to balance it, is trying to figure out what's selling today and how do we double down on that based on customer feedback. Then how do we introduce other hero products every 3 to 6 months that our customers really would ask for? And then once we introduce those hero products, how do we double down on them by creating colors, professional version, attachments? What do we do to strengthen the affinity of that hero product to keep that customer in the life cycle? And that's where we launched Frost, which is at Frost on Instagram, shopfrost.com. Frost is our kids line, which is a premium line.
Did you acquire that brand, or like was it like you built it from scratch?
So we are investing and partnering and acquiring brands right now as a part of our thesis as Snow becomes more of a global platform. But that was our second launched brand. Mm-hmm. And it may be a while before we launch and we birth another brand versus going out to the community and partnering with 2 or 3 kids oral care brands and pulling them onto our platform to leverage and kind of focusing on scale and growth. Because even at our size, birthing a brand takes a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort. And then there's opportunity costs because my team has to take their attention away from the 9-figure Snow brand and essentially start over on this new brand. So that one was something we birthed. So we're hiring right now to clone essentially some of the roles inside of Snow to be focused on Frost specifically. And that's going to be more of a retail, grocery, PR, subscription-driven brand, as opposed to Snow is spending tens of millions on advertising. That one's going to be a little bit more of a grassroots growth effort. And then we're also cross-marketing to all of our Snow parents who have kids who would love to upgrade their kids' oral care as well.
What kind of positions you currently have on the team to facilitate, so like all of these projects, right? Even Snow by itself, massive 9-figure company, like operating just that one, it's like, it's a lot of work. So what kind of like positions, kind of like how you structured your team in general to facilitate, the growth of the brand?
I mean, it's everything. I mean, I started off with a boy with a big dream, right? And I learned web development, the web design, graphic design, search engine optimization, then media buying, right? And a lot of people can connect to the story, just the modern entrepreneur figuring out all these skill sets. And then I built an agency, and then I started building my own stuff. And so like that whole evolution, 15 years now that I've been doing this, that whole evolution, I realized that I was always thinking too small. I mean, that there's really not much you can do about that. It's very difficult to have the confidence in yourself without having some of those wins. So I think in the very beginning, it was opportunistic. How can I get my food, shelter, security protected so that I can, feel like I don't have to, I'm in this survival mode anymore. And so then I had to deal with the struggles of kind of that growth and that success to be like, hey, I'm good. I've got plenty of access. Like, this is good. So it was a lot when then I realized where the common denominator of success came down to the quality of team, and that I was trying to find people that were as good as me at this role or anything like that. And I realized that I need to focus on leadership more than anything else, because the types of companies and types of brands that I'm focused on building today and in the future have significant impact. They create lots of jobs, they create a lot of opportunity. And for me to do that, and particularly for me to do that across multiple organizations, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of companies that I am a founder or operator or CEO of, with Snow being the focal point, I can't do it without the pods of teams. And a brand like Snow generates multiple millions, more than any Fortune 500 per employee. That's because the teams, the people that join the team are incredibly hungry. They're incredibly sharp and focused. We have about 45 team members internally and about double that externally. And so I think that in terms of roles, for me, I would be worthless without having teams around me to actually execute and operate, unless I did it myself, but then I wouldn't scale past $10 million in terms of the business size. It'd be very difficult for me. So that's when I realized, okay, I need someone to help with operations. I need someone to help with marketing coordination. So I need and the titles are loose and they don't really matter early on in the business, but it's like, I need a head of operations. I need a head of marketing. Maybe I need a media buyer so that I'm not spending all day media buying. I need a head of customer support and head of operations. That person's also dealing with fulfillment, logistics. How are we getting the product to customer? Because I'm in the product development business and innovation business, I can't do all the product development myself fast enough, nor well enough. So bringing on, in our case, a VP of product development associates beneath her. So thinking about essentially the best way to look at it is I'm constantly trying to move to higher value work. And I teach that throughout the organization. So there's this anxiety when we hold the hot potato too long. So there's this strong from the top down and all throughout the organizations, every organization, including Snow. How do we move to higher value work? How do we help Josh move to higher value work? That means that I have to delegate some of those very difficult tasks, which means I need people that I can trust. And so you start with, what are things that you could get off your plate that cause agitation, frustration? They take a lot of time from you. You find someone who actually loves doing that. Like, believe it or not, there are people who love media buying. They love accounting. They're thankful to take this work off of your plate. And that abundance thinking of like, how can I give this challenge to someone else, an opportunity to grow and be a conduit for that growth as a leader? And that's what I've been focused on the last few years is leadership, people development and how to develop leaders in the organization and to set my sights way higher. That's what I wish I would have done in the past too, is set my sights higher for the type of talent that need to join the organization versus always thinking that, oh, I got a really good deal on this talent. He or she is a rising star and, I'm going to get them to do 50 jobs and, that'll do it. It's like, no, you want to hire people who have an opportunity to lead. And that's the only way I'm able to go to Dubai for 2 weeks and work remotely on the other side of the world while the businesses continue to break records. It's because I'm with the intent from the very beginning that my goal in this organization is to be the chairman one day, which means that there may be a CEO one day that takes my spot. And so when that energy is brought to the table from the beginning, I teach that job security is replacing yourself actually, and finding someone to do your job hopefully better than you so that you can move to higher value work in this organization. That's what keeps, high powered, high performance players around. It's what keeps me around because I don't need to do this. I want to do this and I want to work with the people I work with. And that kind of energy is different than I need to make money from this thing to pay for my car or to pay for my lifestyle, or you guys
kind of like it probably goes in stages, right? There was a stage in your life where that was kind of like your priority, just kind of like you evolved from that gradually. Interesting. So do you hire people only with experience, kind of like people with exact kind of like very particular experience that you're looking for, or you do not, or you build people from scratch? Like,
well,
with the right attitude?
We used to have an internship program, and we had more of like the training. It's just we're still a very small team. Anyone we add to the team is within 3 months taking work off of other people's plates, not adding work to it. So we really look for people who can work in an autonomous environment, who aren't just looking for another job. It's a very difficult company to get a job at because almost nobody leaves. So the roles don't open up very quickly and there aren't plenty of them. So it's a very, very exclusive opportunity, particularly for Snow, to be a part of that. And so we're very, very careful on how we curate, this talent. But what I learned is that you're better off paying a little bit more for what you're going to get in return than to say, this person is someone I can train, I can teach, and I'm going to spend, a few hours a day mentoring them. And I know that they can take over the retail channel one day. You don't have the opportunity or the time or the budget usually when you're scaling a newer business to do those things. And it's the natural thing to do because you're working on finite resources. So you're like, wow, I can get this person, to work for free on the weekends and help me out with packaging. And you do things where you have to do. I'm not saying that you don't do those things, but you want to think about, instead of hiring even 3 people, can I hire one multiplier who will be a domino effect to the rest of the organization? That's more important than trying to fill in these little spots. Oh, I need someone to do just customer support on email, instead of thinking I need a head of customer support. And maybe they're not there today, but I'm going to hire them where they're at today and let them know that my intention is within a year, they become the head of customer support for this brand. What does that mean? Well, that means that they might be doing customer support in the beginning, but they're going to go on Upwork and hire some virtual assistants to start building out that team. They're going to manage it. They're going to do that stuff. So it's totally off my plate instead of sort of off my plate, which is why it's best to have someone who has had experience. Now, a lot of stuff we're doing, especially in snow, is so cutting edge that I can't expect someone to have like TikTok whitelisting media buying at scale in the personal care industry. Like, it's not going to happen. But if someone has been media buying on Facebook and they're really interested in learning TikTok, and they already have media buying experience, they're hungry, they got a chip on their shoulder, they want to prove something to themselves, and they know about snow and they know how coveted the position is, and they want to come in and just run with it, and they're not going to need much hand holding, that's someone who's going to excel in this organization and do very well for themselves. And because, not to say that we don't have a coaching and mentoring program, but it's a very advanced organization. Snow is. It's a very advanced marketing organization. So people will feel left behind if they're not able to keep up. But there's no way for me to slow it down. I've tried. There's no way for me to slow that down, because the culture has been and continues to be, we all back each other up. We are very loyal to each other. We constantly challenge each other in healthy ways, and we're always looking out for each other's interests, and we're always trying to take work off of each other's plate and not add work to each other's plate. So it's a very protective kind of environment. So if people have a skill set, that's a bonus. If they have an exact skill set, that's even more of a bonus. But even more than that, we're looking for a candidate who it's the time is right in their career to make a mark, and being a part of Snow means something. Everybody knows our brand, one of the top most visible DTC brands in the world. So there's a lot of that, not someone that just wants a job or just wants to stay here for a year and put Snow on their LinkedIn so they can hop to another job. These are people who are like purists. Like my VP of ECOM, Eric, he is a scientist. This media buying work, this analysis of scaling our channels and life cycle marketing, he's like a chef. This is so very important to him. This isn't just clicks and dollars. This is a real deep scientific journey of mastery for a lot of our leaders here. So there are more professors that are actually doing the work than they are corporate kind of managers or micromanagers. And so that's what we try to look for in people is it the right time in your career for you to really challenge yourself and see what you're made of?
What is kind of like, what would you say, like, is the right time? Can you elaborate on that? Like, is that the right time in your career? Like, are these people who already done something, but they feel like they can do more? Is there like any particular kind of like age? Maybe they've had like 5-10 years experience, or those things don't even matter. Kind of like, what would it
It's all over the board. It's all over the board. I mean, we had, with our internship program, we had a team member join to our internship program. She came back after she graduated and just has continued to skyrocket in personal and career growth in the business. And that's just one of many stories that we have of people starting at any type of journey. But the timing means the chip on your shoulder. So if you got a chip on your shoulder, whether and the age doesn't matter, the experience doesn't matter. Some people come in day one with this energy inside that they're like, I want to do something that matters. I want to be a part of a team that gets stuff done and that isn't just talking about it. And I want to grow. I don't want to be left behind because I feel that I have a lot of potential left in me, or a lot in me. And this is the opportunity, versus like, oh, I'm looking for a more work-life balance. I just want to kind of do some paperwork and hang out at home, or, like, and that's a lot of people. This is like, oh no, I want to go to Harvard and I want to cure cancer. And like, that's the energy we're looking for at different levels. And it could mean that, oh, people told me growing up that I was never going to make it in business, or, my ex-husband or ex-wife told me that I couldn't do it. I have a chip on my shoulder and I want to show that I can be something here. Blah, blah, blah. So whatever chip is on the shoulder, it could be from all types. That's something that I think synergizes us. And we're doing this. We could work anywhere. We could sell anything. We could do anything. We choose Snow because of the unique combination of people, because of the infinite market size, and because all the odds are stacked against us. And usually people who, instead of backing away, double down when the odds are stacked against them, adversity.
Mhm.
That's what I mean by timing, is like, is someone, ready to shine that light inside of themselves to challenge themselves on this path of mastery? And it's something that I think everybody eventually seeks. It's just at different times. Some people might want to chill for a year and just do a
Mm.
simple job. Other people are like, COVID gave a huge opportunity for talent, because people are like, wait, I could work from anywhere in the world on my computer. Why am I working with this boss who's belittling me and doing all this stuff? I want to find something else. So there's this huge talent resurgence that's opening up, and it's going to continue to open. And so people want to find an opportunity that they're going to be energized by, and that they feel is going to bring them closer to that mastery, whatever that means in their life. And just not everybody's ready to take on that responsibility. They're not ready to put in the work that's required to be great, but you have to be willing to give up good to go for great. And that's what I mean by the timing.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, man. So what was like the breaking point for you in terms of that? All of these things, right? Like kind of like you came from nothing, right? You came from nothing. So at what point in your business, like, did you burn yourself up, like to the point where like you couldn't work anymore, or you hired like wrong people for the wrong reasons, people that were just looking for jobs? Like, what was that breaking point for you?
It honestly came down to time. I realized, we all have 24 hours in a day. And I've had multiple family members, unfortunately, pass away in their 40s and at such a young age, that, realizing that, without getting into the spirituality or any of that stuff, just purely like, we have 24 hours in a day. Doesn't matter where you live, you have 24 hours and you have a finite amount of life left. And that for me started to really change the dynamic and the concept of, what am I actually doing here? And like, I don't want to fool anyone. I want to be intentional with my efforts. And I think I burnt out multiple times. And there were many times where I couldn't get out of bed, even because I was so burnt out from managing so many things, trying to do so much, and trying to do so many joint ventures and so many business partners, and so much expectation, responsibility, and entrepreneurship is lonely a lot of times. And so, it's just that whole process where I go, you know what, business should not be that hard. And a business should make money. A business should be fun and entertaining. It should be challenging, of course, but it shouldn't be this dread of like, you wake up, are my Facebook accounts banned? Do my employees hate me? Did I get, kicked off? Am I getting sued? Like, just this constant living of this kind of fear of the unknown, and then not celebrating the small wins. Like, what's next? What's next? Okay, if I did this, I could do this. I got to do more. Really thinking through abundance. So for me, it took this realization after a while of saying, look, I've got plenty of access to capital. I've got everything I need in my personal life. I live a great life. I'm very happy. And what really drives me is the challenge. Like, I'm addicted to this game. I don't golf. I barely watch sports anymore. I used to watch sports every day. I barely watch sports. I used to play sports. I don't play sports anymore. Except like on vacation or something, but I don't, this is all that I think about and do. And I gave myself the permission that that's totally okay. But I kept saying, like, when I sell this company, I'm going to work on, my body, or, my personal health, or when I sell this company, and I would sell the company, and then I would go back into this like rat race of work, over committing myself, stretching myself too thin, and just this constant feeling. Everything was working. Everything's been working. But so it's not, so I point to it and say, well, it's making tens of millions of dollars. I've got to keep doing it. That's where I realized, I said, I got to be really intentional with what I'm doing for the rest of my life. Or otherwise, I'm going to lose myself, because it's never enough in that race. You look at Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk, they're going to space to find purpose. They're going to space to find significance. That is like scary to me, right? Like, Elon's married the same woman twice. Like, Jeff Bezos ruined his family with like his friend's wife, like had an affair. Like, it's crazy when you peel back the cost of entrepreneurship. And for me, I never wanted to get caught in this ego trip or this more mentality. Instead, thinking long term abundantly and realizing, hey, you know what? If I don't take care of myself today and I just keep waiting for the next thing before I prioritize myself, I'm not going to get there. And that's the whole point of other people. So the irony of capitalism is like you've got to create opportunities for other people for you to have the big opportunity yourself. And that's where I started to, that was a breaking point for me. It was like, I don't want to do.
So you were like, so if I'm understanding correctly, like you were like motivated by money before, right?
If you want to get a free course on transitioning from drop shipping to 8-figure e-commerce brands and also on scaling e-commerce businesses with high profitability, there should be a link below. Apply, just fill your information. You will also get access to the private community of 6, 7, and 8-figure entrepreneurs. Now, this link is only for people who already do at least $30,000 per month or more in sales and want to scale their sales, want to scale their profitability, want to avoid banned ad account issues. So if that's you, just apply for that. There should be a link in the description. Click on it, get free resources. It's completely free of charge, and you'll get a lot of value out of it. So make sure you click, get access, and let's get back to the video.
Or like, what was your motivation? Because like,
everybody's motivated by, I mean, I grew up with nothing. So like, you know, for me, it was like, I would love, the biggest thing for me, I bought my first car for $4,000 when I was 15. And that was a huge freaking deal for me because I was generating my own money to buy my own car. I started buying my own school supplies and helping out where I could. And like that for me was the initial drive because it was survival. And then the next phase of that was like, okay, how do I experience some of the nicer things in life and not have to take the city bus, you know, to school? So it was, you know, getting the Lamborghini, the Ferrari, the Bentleys, the houses, the stuff like that. So yes, there is that. I don't know if I went back in time and just said, oh yeah, don't worry about the money. You can't, it's hard to think like that until you have your food, shelter, security. But what I learned is that I should have shifted my focus even sooner. I shifted as fast as I could, but you really don't need as much money as you think you need to actually eat and like live somewhere. So like once that's taken care of, and in my case, my passive income is enough to cover my lifestyle, no matter how nice it is, I'm good. So for me, I think I had to first acquire some level of financial success, some prominence there. But then in order for me to move to that next stage, it couldn't just be about me anymore. And that's why when I started Snow, I poured millions of dollars of my own money over the years to grow the business, to take that risk. And I paid myself the bare minimum I could pay, which I think was $60,000 a year before taxes. Everything was intentional in this business, but everybody's at a different point in their chapter. All I'm saying is I went through chapters 3 through 10 with this survivorship mindset that caused a lot of stress. I made a lot of money, but at what expense? My health, my mental health, you know, just being exhausted, burnt out, running so many things, getting taken advantage of, screwed over. I just opened myself up for so much. I realized moving forward, I only want to do things that make sense that optimize for peace. I'm looking for the optimize for peace in my life so that I can focus on what I love to do, which is investing in growing, scaling brands. We have our powerhouse community in the mastermind. I love doing those things. And if it doesn't fit that thesis, what's the benefit, right? It's like if you have enough money to cover your expenses every month, there's not much more. The delta between a 2020 Ferrari and a 2021 Ferrari, there's like no delta there. There's no extra experience, right?
Wow, man, this is such a good stuff. Have you gotten into like ayahuasca, any of those kind of like psychedelic type of stuff to kind of like uncover all of this, or it was just like a natural progression, natural process for you?
I kind of did it the wrong way. Although it was successful so many times, it honestly was just like, you touch the stove, it's hot. You touch the stove, it's hot. And I would almost like lie to myself and be like, no, well, this is why I'm doing this. And this is why I'm doing this. And I opened myself up to get taken advantage of. I opened myself up to a lot of things. And I think through the pain and suffering, which is why I share the message today to other entrepreneurs, it's okay to give something up. It's okay to be direct and say, hey, I've got too much on my plate today. I really need to focus here for the next 6 months. Can we re-engage then? Or if a business is losing money and continues to lose money, but you don't want to give up because you have a sunk cost fallacy there. And I put money in there and I told all my friends. Those are the things that I've had to learn the hard way. And I've lost millions of dollars in failed partnerships and failed investments and all kinds of stuff. So for me, it was just realizing that when you break it down, and let's say, for example, you say everybody wants to sell for $100 million or $1 billion. You say, how much do you spend per year? Let's say $200,000 a year would be more than enough for you to live a good life. Well, you need 10 times that to be able to produce 10% of returns to be able to live a lifestyle like that. So you go, okay, 200,000, 2 million. Okay, let's double it for conservative. Let's say 5 million. You need to sell your business for $5 million for you to never have to work again in your life, to live the level of lifestyle you have. And it's important for you to get a hop, skip, and jump. Elon Musk didn't start SpaceX in 1999. Like, that's the thing, is that the media glamorizes these huge fundraising rounds, these big exits. And so we kind of beat our chest and say, yeah, it's going to be 100 million, 100 million. And it's just kind of pressure. And it's like, hey guys, it's okay to take chips off the table and provide for your family and put money away for your kids and, and create opportunity, because you're the entrepreneur. You're supposed to be creating with an intention. And that for me is where I realized this is where I can have a lot of impact in other people's lives, other entrepreneurs. And that's why I started the Powerhouse with Lo Silva, our Powerhouse community, Powerhouse brands, to continue sharing this message of like, hey, you don't have to do it all yourself. Hire better team members, delegate better, focus on reading books on leadership and multiplying your leaders. Think of the concept of outside funding and outside investment. It's a very foreign kind of thing for a lot of people in our industry. But think about raising money, lines of credit from the bank, more traditional stuff. How can you take the profits you're making from your drop shipping or your lead gen business to buy SEO properties that are ranking for stuff in your space so that you can sell that business for way more, instead of just having an offer working on one channel? Take the profits and go and buy the stuff that's going to allow you to exit for tens of millions of dollars. That's the thing. That's what I had to learn the hard way, the long way. But I'm here today and I'm still young and I'm still learning. But everything now that I do is very intentional. Everything, even down to the snow office. I'm in the office 2 days a week, Tuesday, Thursday. I'm working 24/7. But those are 2 days so that we're very specific on meetings, KPIs, like everything's very intentional. And so I kind of welcome everyone out there listening. Look at your schedule, audit your time every day. What are you spending time on? What frustrates you? And could you find help out there? Could you reinvest from your business into people? Because that's going to be the biggest multiplier in your business. It's not going to be anything else. It's going to be people. And one good person that you add to your team could literally shift the dynamic of your business. But until then, you do have to brute force a lot of it through yourself. I had to program, I had to media buy. So you got to do what you got to do, right? That's where it's like, you have to have the motivations. You have to, whatever's getting you up in the morning. I'm not judging it. There are all kinds of motivations out there. Just believe in yourself a little bit more. Think a little bit more systematized. Think about the exit potential of this business. If someone was to come in and buy it, are you involved anymore? How can you get yourself not involved in the day-to-day business so that you truly have an investable business?
Man, this is so good. This is so good. And I know we hitting the time dedicated, I would talk to you like for hours, like every time, it's like, I pick up so much. I took so many notes here, and thank you so much. So guys, Josh has his community Powerhouse ECOM. We'll drop the links below. So amazing community, business owners, brand builders, amazing people. Heard great things about your community. Some, we have our community, but some people in our community are also in your community. They say very good things. And so guys, definitely check it out. Connect with Josh. Every time, like I see the evolution of this guy, I'm like, you evolve like so fast. Like you said, the company is cutting edge. It's because you are cutting edge. You know what I mean? It's like. I think very, very exciting to see that, man. And thank you so much for joining me today, Josh. Thank you so much.
I'm excited to be on again. I've been on a few times and I love it every single time. So I hope this was of lots of value, and sure. I'm excited to do another one of these and follow up by the end of the year and see what we're doing then.
For sure, my man. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching.